Mr. White, this letter also says at the bottom that it represents the check that accompanies this letter, represents the first of multiple scheduled installments to honor the full amount of Ms. Heard's $3.5 million pledged gift, correct?
When I composed a letter, that was my understanding that she was going to give $3.5 million to charity.
You're really not answering my question. My question was simply, I understand that you want to speak your own narrative here, but my question was simply that this letter says that this check represents the first of multiple scheduled installments to honor the full amount of Ms. Heard's $3.5 million pledged gift, correct?
We can both read the letter, and the answer is yes.
Thank you, sir. Now, you hosted a dinner. Mr. White, you just testified a few minutes ago that you didn't have any understanding of Mr. Depp showing up late for work on Pirates 5, but in fact, you received this text from Tracy Jacobs that says, "Thanks. I got a call from Disney last week saying he showed up 5 hours late for ADR work in London for Pirates 5. I really need to speak to him before he starts work on his next project in LA." Did I read that right? Permission to publish this, Your Honor?
Oh, yes, I'm sorry.
Thank you.
Do you want me to respond?
I just wanted to ask you if I read that right. I just wanted to ask you if I read that right. I just wanted to ask you if I read that right.
We can both read the letter, and the answer is yes.
Thank you. You received this text message saying in part, "I got a call from Disney last week saying he showed up 5 hours late for ADR work in London for Pirates 5. I really need to speak to him before he starts work on this next project in LA." Did I read that right?
I believe you read it right.
Thank you. And when you make payments on behalf of your clients to charities, is it customary for you to send a cover letter like this?
In some instances, yes. In some instances, no.
Okay.
But in all instances, that there is a signed agreement and an understanding of when the payments will be made.
Sir, that wasn't my question. My question was just, is it customary for you to send a letter like this? And I think you've answered that. And so when you send letters like this on behalf of your clients, do you prepare such letters in the ordinary course of your business?
In some instances, yes.
And in the instances in which you prepare those letters, do you then maintain those letters in the ordinary course of your business?
Yes.
So in this cover letter, you tell the ACLU that you're enclosing a check for $100,000 and that the donation is being made in accordance with Ms. Heard's pledged gift of $3.5 million to the ACLU Foundation. Correct?
Yes.
And you also write that the check represents. Just go ahead. That the check represents the first of multiple scheduled installments. Correct?
It was my understanding that she was
asking
going to contribute $3,500,000 to children.
Sir.
You've asked me a question. I'm trying to respond.
No, I was actually just asking if that's what you wrote.
We can both read the letter, and the answer is yes.
Thank you. Did I read that right?
Would you ask the question again, please?
Yeah, you write, "This check represents the first of multiple scheduled installments to honor the full amount of Ms. Heard's $3.5 million pledged gift."
It was my understanding she was going to contribute the money, and that's
okay,
consistent
sir.
with my
I just
response.
asked if that's what you wrote.
We can both read the letter, and the answer is yes.
In fact, you're being paid for the time that you're sitting on that witness stand today, aren't you?
No.
Well, you charge the time that you spent in connection with legal proceedings in this case, correct?
That's correct, but I charge for my time.
Yeah.
And it's the same time.
You answer my question, sir. In fact, you charge $710 an hour for your time, don't you?
Counsel, if you'll let me complete my answer, I'll be happy to respond.
Sir, please try to stick to the question that I'm asking you. You've had your chance to go well beyond the question being asked, but if you could just please stick to the question I'm asking you, it would go a lot faster. On line 11 of page 116, the question is, what about Christy Dombrowski? The answer that you gave is, I haven't spoken to Christy in some time. One of my colleagues probably maintains an active basis of communications between her and our firm. Did I read that right?
We can both read the letter, and the answer is yes.
Thank you.
Yes, but you need
that was my
to
question,
define the
just
term.
if I read that right, sir. Now, part of the services that you provide, that your firm provides to Mr. Depp, is to pay the bills. And after you were brought on, you developed an understanding that Mr. Depp's financial status was very challenging, correct?
It was challenging, but we had an ability to resolve the problems if they were properly addressed.
He had liquidity problems, right?
He had substantial assets in excess of his liabilities, but he had short-term obligations that needed to be satisfied.
Let me just ask that again. At the time that you were brought on, he had liquidity problems, correct?
Can you define liquidity for me?
I'm asking you.